Okay, we are live now with my good friend Brian Byrd. Brian, please introduce yourself.
Hey, Amari, how are you? My name is Brian Byrd. I'm the head men and women's soccer coach at the University of Arkansas, Rich Mountain. We are a NJCAA Division I program located here in the beautiful Ouachita Mountains of western Arkansas.
Nice. I know it's looking nice over there. The background's looking good. But you were telling me the other day that you were bored to death. What are the restrictions in Arkansas, in your area specifically, about the coronavirus? Like, are you in lockdown or can you do exercise still?
We're really one of the five states that have not gone on lockdown because our numbers are so low. We're in a rural area. Now we are. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not on lockdown, but we're not. Gatherings. The restaurants are closed. The churches have been shut down. But I'm about to go to the grocery store in an hour. I can do that. We're not on, complete lockdown just yet.
If you can put the phone up a little bit so you can see your face. There we go. There we go.
Yeah. If the numbers get higher. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And what your school did? Did they go online?
Yeah. Everybody's online. All the students are online. We were there for another week until we got sent home. So I'm working from home now. The kids are online. We do have 4 or 5 kids that are still in the living quarters because their borders got shut down before they could get home.
And what happened with the international students?
Well, it was a furious rampage of getting everybody flights as fast as we could. It was difficult, but we got most of them home because we had 14 different countries in our program this year. Wow. We got everybody home except for a couple of international players. Again, it wasn't their fault. It wasn't lack of effort, but by the time they, tried to find flights, their country was already, the borders were already closed. So we're taking care.
School allowed them to. So school allowed them to stay on campus, right?
Absolutely. We're making sure everybody's taken care of and fed, and we're good.
And what are you doing as far as training sessions? Are you giving anything to them online, or you just send them a training performance, or what did you do?
Sending them some training performances, constant communication. I sent an email out about safety the other night. A lot of people have been talking about it's all for old people, and I'm reading all this stuff about 25-year-olds passing out. So, constant communication, asking them to work out, giving them information to work out with. But the main thing is just keeping us together and chatting. What the hardest part of all this is I miss the players. Miss them coming to my office and just hanging out, and I miss being on the pitch.
And what app are you using? Are you using just an email or using WhatsApp? What kind of app are you using?
All the above. All the above. I'm looking at Zoom. We got WhatsApp, and we definitely use email quite often. But we're setting up Zoom right now. That's what the college uses for our staff. So when we're going on classes online, the staff is using Zoom. So we're about to start using Zoom.
And can you explain us a little bit about the junior college divisions? Because for us that we work on it, we understand pretty well. But a lot of people that could be watching don't understand the Division I level, the Division II, the community colleges in California. How does that work?
Yeah, so Division I is just like NCAA Division I. We have scholarship money for athletics. And Division II is new. Next year, I mean, it was back in the day, it was there, but Division II is coming back next year. So Division I, we can give a scholarship based on what the college gives you and what we offer you. Division II, they can't pay for your food or your books. I'm sorry, your food or your dorms, your living quarters. But they can give you money outside of that. So their scholarship offers won't be as much. And Division III is just like NCAA Division III. They have no athletic scholarship money. If you play there, you're a walk-on. And the schools in California, the junior colleges in California, are on their own. They don't participate in the NJCAA. I know that the current president of the NJCAA is trying to work on that and get them back in, but for the moment they don't play on a national level. But Division I is what we are, and we have a scholarship amount that I'm given, and I can give it to you what I need to give.
And during this time, is there any rule that you can't recruit, or you're allowed to recruit during this time as well?
We're allowed to recruit, but just verbally. No face-to-face action. They cannot come on campus. I cannot go to their house and visit them, just like this, over the phone, through video, or just talking over the phone. But I know NCAA is the same thing, and JCA, no face-to-face recruiting right now. I think the last I heard was May 17th.
And then you're going to be allowed to recruit again, right?
Well, it'll be reevaluated at least at that point, yeah.
And how's your team looking for the season? I know you're doing a lot of recruiting. You have been doing like a great job in the past 2 years. You came to Brazil. You saw our showcase. You saw the level that players that we have here. You took a few of them with you. They have done really well. We have Enzo now graduating next year already, who started with you, doing a great job. And how do you see the international students so far on your program?
Well, so far, we were a new program this year. And, you know, I moved up here from the Texas coast after Hurricane Harvey. And we created a bit of history this year. As a first-year program, we won our conference. And we were full of freshmen. So the returning class is going to be brilliant. I also want to mix in the 2020s with them. But the international players are doing well. My guys who came over from Brazil and the A10 Academy have done super well for me. Enzo's graduating, and you know, Lucas did well for us. There's plenty that have come over and done well and helped our program. And I'm sure there's going to be more in the future.
And one question that I like to ask all of the coaches about the college soccer season. Are you for or are you against playing all year long? I know there's a lot of talks about it throughout NCAA, throughout the junior college level, throughout any level. But as a coach, are you for or against the all year long college season?
Not only am I for it, I'm actually writing something now for my college that we're going to try to put in. I'm for it. I would like to see this become a 2-semester sport. I don't feel that even at the NCAA level or the NJCAA level, we get a fair shake at this. You know, there's sports that play more games in their off season than we do in our regular season and off season combined. And I would like to make, there's so many positives to being a fall and spring sport. One is retention, keeping the kids interested. 2, more development of the players. You know, in the second semester, it seems like all we're doing is more training and only having 4 dates. I'd like to see us cut back to 22 games in the fall to like maybe 16.
Break down.
Yeah, then add 12 to 14 in the spring. Then your playoffs championships, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's a great question that I always like to bring up, because since I was in college in 2008 when I graduated, I was always questioning myself, like, why so short? We don't develop as much as we can. We have to find clubs to play throughout the summer. We have to work out really hard throughout the spring to make sure we're in shape. And then as I'm trying to go pro, as I was trying to go pro, and I know a lot of players that you coached before had that dream as well, to go play as high level as possible, they don't develop as much as somebody else in another country doing for the past 4 or 5 years. Whereas we were in college, and then these other players are playing, you know, just playing soccer all year long. And then they have a better chance to sign a pro contract than we do, right?
Yeah, agreed. And then, you know, the NCAA Division I, if I'm hearing right, they're about to pass that to be a 2-semester sport. And I'm hoping the NJCAA will follow suit. My idea would be 2 things. 1, we follow suit and we go to 2-semester sport. If that's not passed, then give us the right to play 10 to 12 games in the off-season, in the spring.
Even a friendly game, right?
It doesn't mean you have to play. Your athletic director, your president can dictate how many games you play in the spring based on budget, but at least give us the opportunities for the schools that want to play 10 to 12 games in the spring, that opportunity.
Yeah.
It's got to keep it active. You got to keep the kids involved. You got to keep them stimulated. You can't have them just training and working out in the gym and going to the pitch. Training's great, but when that's all you're doing, it gets stagnant.
Not enough. Yeah. And one other question about the recruiting process. Has the coronavirus affected you directly? I know you're still doing a lot of recruiting. And for instance, the few players that we talked about, they asked to wait because the economy is fluctuating so much throughout the situation the last few weeks. And has it affected you directly?
It's affected us. I mean, of course, I don't think there's a program that it hadn't affected, Amari, but you know, I think we're fortunate here that we were all freshmen this year, so most of my core is returning. So I've already had a pretty good recruiting class. On the girls' side, I've had an unbelievable, beyond expectation recruiting class. So we're good there. On the guys' side, I've still got 4 or 5 spots available, and we'll get that done. but we were proactive enough and we were early enough in the recruiting that we got a lot of players in before all this happened. I think what'll really hurt, especially at the NCAA Division I level, is going to hurt them for the 21 class, because if you're a good solid program, you're ahead of the year. You're ahead. So this may not affect a lot of colleges this year, but it may affect the following year.
How long? Yeah, of course, I agree with you. Is there any advice that you can give to the international student athletes that are out there looking for a school? What to do during this time, to try to train at home, to try to keep up with the studying, however they are studying now? What would you tell them?
Man, finish hard. Finish this season. Finish this school year hard. Your eligibility is still on the line. If you're a current college soccer player, you're an international, even if you're a domestic player, you still got to have the hours. There's not going to be any exemptions going into next year. If you don't have the hours, you're not going to be eligible. From a recruiting perspective for international players that don't have a whole lot of talk or interaction, be proactive and email the coaches, find them. But let me give you a little advice. Don't copy and paste an email and then insert the college name. We know what you're doing. We've been doing this long enough. We can tell.
How many emails do you get a week, for instance?
Oh, I wouldn't even know how to count them. 80 to 100.
It's good that you say that, because I try to have an understanding with all of the coach that we work with, and also with the student athletes that we have here in Brazil. As you've seen here in Brazil, we have so many students that would love to have a chance to play in college in US, especially now because the economy is fluctuating, there's no jobs available, and families, the middle class families that can go to the US, have the international exchange program focused on soccer. They can only have the chance if a coach provides them. And as a college coach, sometimes they require so much. They request the player to be like Messi, to speak fluent English, and then still bring up some money. So it's tough sometimes. So I try to tell the students here, like, do your best, get your grades up, whatever you can control, get your grades up, try to play, try to keep training, because coach got so many emails from all over the world. You're not competing to the guy next to you. You're competing with all over the place, right?
Absolutely. Like I said, we had 14 countries represented last year, and you can add Italy and China to next year's team. So, yeah, and what I was saying about the emails is don't copy and paste. Do some research on the program. Fill that information in. I've heard the Ouachita Mountain region is in a beautiful area. I saw your record last year. Now we know as coaches you've actually done research into our program, and this is not just a copy and paste email. It's just more attractive to us. It's also, if you don't hear back after one email, maybe send another. You got a fine line between overdoing it but still being consistent. We have so many. Maybe we do miss a couple, but it's not because of the effort. It's just you're overwhelmed.
And have you signed a player without watching a video, for instance? Or sometimes when you go through an agency that you already work with, okay, but you just got an email, you like the way he is, and then you give him an opportunity to go to your school?
No. Have I given somebody an offer without seeing him play? Yes, but that's been based on somebody I know, like yourself, or an NCAA Division I coach saying, hey, I've got a fantastic player. He doesn't have the SAT to get in. And if that Division I coach is a coach I know and trust and has a top-level program, and he was willing to let that player in that program, sure, I'm going to trust him at some point. But if it's somebody I don't know that well, there's no way I'm going to offer without seeing some kind of playing video. Also, get on the phone with them and have a dialogue and get to know a bit of rapport about them.
Yeah, fair enough. So video is really important. Talking to the player also is really important. What other tip that you could give to the student athletes that could be watching this?
Character. I don't care how many goals you can put in the back of the net. If you don't have the good quality character of a person, we don't need you here. It's an issue of a good player and a good person combined. That one player that can put 50 goals from the back of the net but be a poison in the locker room is not somebody we want to take the gamble on. So, you've got to have a good character and not have this lifestyle behind the scenes that would tear a team apart.
Fair enough. Anything else you want to add about your program, your school? We are up on our 15 minutes.
Yeah, so we're the University of Arkansas Rich Mountain. We're currently building a brand new soccer facility, be natural grass, 120 yards drive, and we're building a new indoor training facility for bad weather days. We're building a 3,800 square foot weight room, and we just bought our brand new own charter bus, leather seats, stereo TV.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Doing this right, and our administration, when they started the program, said that they wanted to do it right and they wanted to win, and they're giving us the necessities to do that.
Fair enough. Brian, thank you so much for taking these 15 minutes to talk to me on a Sunday. We'll be in touch. We all hoping that everything gets better and back to normal soon. We'll be in touch. Talk to you soon, okay?
Take safe. Be safe.
All right.